This video is going to help you with realigning your schedule after being thrown off with the pandemic, especially if your kids have been out of school for like 5 months instead of the normal 2.5. These are some things that help me. Hey everybody, welcome to my channel. My name is Yosha and I'm your go-to girl for all things real. Today's video is going to give y'all some tips for getting ready to go back to school and adjusting to helping your kids with virtual learning. These are some things that helped us get out of our quarantine, lack of schedule, and into a more structured schedule. I have been working from home since March. My son was in pre-K when the pandemic got to the baddest part, and school was basically shut down indefinitely. And so little by little, we both kind of lost our set of structure and stability as far as a schedule, because school and work arrival times kind of gave us a time to wake up, a time to wind down. And although I was still working when I was working from home, it still kind of disrupted my schedule because my hours with work got longer and his structure went out the window, because there was a curriculum that you could follow virtually, but it was really difficult to enforce that. And part of that I wish I would have known was that ABC Mouse, which is the product that I actually purchased for my son during the pandemic, actually gave resources to help you with online learning from home and schedules. So if you have ABC Mouse, if you have a child that's between the age of 2 and 8, I highly recommend looking at the parental resources so that you can use those schedules that are built in there to help build structure, because it is really hard for kids to operate without routine and without structure. Children thrive from routine. Children thrive from structure. And if the environment is chaotic, then your child is not going to perform as well. And if the child is seeing home as home and mommy being home as playtime, then it is so hard to get your child to focus on learning for more than like 10 to 15 minutes at a time. So without further ado, I'm going to get into some things that help me. This video is going to help you with realigning your schedule after being thrown off with the pandemic, especially if your kids have been out of school for like 5 months instead of the normal 2.5. These are some things that help me. So first thing that I had to do is figure out what time school would be. So for me, my son's school schedule was basically around the time of 7:30 to 2:30. So currently my son was going to bed at like midnight, 11:30. Like I said, no structure. And most parents don't go to sleep before their kids. So if your child isn't going to bed until midnight, that means you're not going to sleep until after midnight, which means you're waking up in the morning tired for your job, which my job, let's say I'm starting work before 9 o'clock, I have to get up to be ready for work a little bit before 8, but I'm going to sleep around 1 or 2. That's only 6 hours of sleep. So by the time I'm up and ready for work, I'm tired. My son is rolling out of bed at 11 a.m. or 10:30 a.m. and there's no structure in that. So the first thing that I had to do was initiate a bedtime that for him and myself would be conducive to waking up early. So you can't go to bed at midnight and wake up at 7 a.m. when you're 4 and 5 years old and be productive. Yes, it's possible. Yes, the alarms can go off and you can get up. But to be productive, a good night rest is so important. And one of my favorite small YouTubers period, that I recently collaborated with is Cherishing. And Cherishing is such a great channel because she talks about being a girl boss and being productive. And one of the ways to be productive is to wake up early. And that's something that I did not do this summer. And I wish that I would have understood the power of, because once I started realigning my schedule, I started going to bed earlier to wake up early. And it gave me more energy. It gave me more time in the evening. And it allowed me to be more productive. Because if you're not getting the rest you need, you can't wake up on time. And if you're not waking up on time and you're starting your day late, 9 times out of 10, you're going to end your day late too. And if you didn't get a good night rest, you're not going to be able to focus. So you have a child that's tired that can't focus. You're an adult that's tired that can't focus. You're trying to get your work done for your 9 to 5 and monitor your child. So that's where the structure goes in. Instead of going to bed after midnight, instead of him going to bed at midnight or whenever close, I started to set some boundaries. So I said, you know what? You have to be in bed by 10 o'clock. The TV is going off around 9:30, and this is going to be difficult because you haven't been having to do this, but I assure you that if we do this for a week straight, you'll naturally start to get sleepy. And I know that y'all are probably like, yeah, right, but I promise if you stick to it for a full week, especially if you can do this, if you can catch this video before school starts, and you can do this the week before you go to school, I'm telling y'all, it will change everything. So what this is going to take is a adjustment in you. That means that you're going to have to set boundaries and you're going to have to stick to them. You can't just give in to the temper tantrums or the, but mommy, just 5 more minutes. You have to be strict and say, no, the TV is going off at 9:30. Honestly, I like to say a little bit earlier so that I can be on the track time that I want. So if I really want him in bed by 10, then 9:30 gives me 30 minutes to get that TV off, get his teeth brushed, read a story to him, and get him settled. And I know for some of y'all like, that's still kind of late. But understand, like, children his age probably need about 10 hours of sleep, 9 to 10 hours of sleep. So if he's going to bed at 10, 11, 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 10 hours of sleep. So worst case scenario, going to bed at 10 is giving him 10 hours of sleep. If he goes to bed at 10, I'm setting a bedtime for myself of 11. If I fall asleep before then, fine. If I fall asleep a little bit after, fine. But the moral is, I'm not going to bed after midnight and having to wake up earlier than him to get him and myself both ready. So, first thing that did make this an easy change for us was just going to bed a little bit earlier. Then we started to wake up early as well. I set alarms for 7 a.m. because it's virtual learning. So we don't have to leave our house. I'm working virtually. We don't have to wake up an hour and a half before we have to leave because we're doing everything here. Now, during your evening, you can set out clothes to make that part easy. Set the outfit that he's wearing, or she if you have a daughter. Set the outfit that you're wearing so that all you have to do is wake up, brush your teeth, and wash your face, put on your outfit. The night before, set the clothes out, take the bath. If your child has a problem with bedwetting, then you may want to factor in an extra 15 minutes for that. So for me, I know that really 40 minutes is enough time if we wake up on time. Now, if we're not going to wake up on time and we're going to hit snooze, then my alarm might need to go off at 6:45. But you know that best for yourself. So 7 a.m. was about an hour earlier than what time I was waking up before. But what that did was it allowed me to start my day closer to the time where he is starting school and then end my work day an hour earlier, thus allowing more time in the evening. But I'm going to get to that part. By us both waking up earlier, it showed my son the importance of waking up early for school while also showing him that if he doesn't go to bed when we tell him to, he's going to be sleepy. So the first day, I stuck to my guns and I got him up at 7 a.m. Now, the first day was the most hard because he did not go to bed when I told him to. He did lay down. He did eventually fall asleep. It was before midnight, but it wasn't at the time of 10 o'clock. It was probably closer to like 11:15, maybe even 11:30, which was still earlier than midnight, but again, y'all, we're going from no structure at all to establishing a structure. So in order to teach your child that lesson, you can tell them, you're going to be very tired tomorrow, but you're going to have to learn. If they don't listen, you don't say, well, they're going to be tired, I'm going to let him sleep longer. You can't do that because when school starts virtually, it's a certain time, it's a set time, there's a schedule. So what I did was I said, 7 o'clock, you're going to get up. Even though you didn't go to bed when I told you to, you're still going to get up. So he got up, we got him dressed. He brushed his teeth. I made him put clothes on. He'd been trying to chill around in pajamas. You're not going to be able to do that. We had a quick bowl of cereal, and we started the day. Now, because school hasn't really started, we use the laptop and we use ABC Mouse Learning Path. So, Learning Path basically gives them a assortment of curriculum based on their age, whether they're in pre-K, whether they're a toddler, whether they're in kindergarten. There's different grades based on your child's age. For pre-K, my son was on level 3. We were actually able to get him to graduate from pre-K on ABC Mouse level 3 in that week because I made him do the curriculum for the full day, each day for a week. So Monday, during those hours that would have been school, I had him doing the learning path. Now, once he finished the learning path for, let's say 10% a day was kind of the goal that I was going for. Prior to this week, he had been doing about 15 to 30 minutes a day, about 3 times a week, all summer long. So he was already about, I want to say 70% or 65-ish% complete on the track. So my goal in my head was we're going to get him to graduate before Friday of this week. So what we did was we would make him work straight through for about an hour, and then we would allow a break because in kindergarten they're going to have breaks. And then we'd get back to it. And then we'd have another break, which would be lunch. And that would be 30 minutes. After that 30 minutes, we'd go back, we'd work. We might take a break to do a little game or something just to break up the repetition so he doesn't get bored. And then once he reached the 10% goal for the day, I would allow him to switch tasks. He could do arts and crafts and color. He could do flashcards and practice counting. He could do something different. But during that time, I did not allow him to do anything that was not school learning related. Meaning, like, there was no watching TV, there was no watching Netflix, there was no YouTube videos, there was no anything that would not be taking place during the day of school. Now, when the weather was good, we also let him go outside and play because when you have real school, you have PE or you have recess. So it's important to let your kids get that exercise, get that vitamin D from the sun, and just run off some of that energy. But by the end of the day, he was tired. And when I told him that it was time for bed, he actually did go to sleep much earlier than he did Sunday night. So then Tuesday came about, and I'm not going to lie, y'all, I overslept a little bit. And I woke up, I woke up at like 7:30 instead of 7 o'clock. He had his cereal. We started the day. And I had him start at like 8. And I started my day like a little bit before 8. And I made him make the 30 minutes up at the end of the day so that he could still get the full taste of what the full day would be like. And so by the end of the day, again, he was tired. Like, he made his 10% track, but he was tired. And gradually, basically, y'all, by like Friday, he had gotten accustomed to going to bed around 9:30, 10 o'clock. In fact, over the weekend, he still fell asleep around the same time. Now, on the weekend, we did not wake up at 7. We woke up around 8:30, which is not that bad. It's just an hour difference. Obviously, you're going to sleep in on the weekends. But the point of me sharing this with y'all is that just those little changes in the time of him going to bed and the time of us waking up, while also giving him a little bit of structure in the routine, allowed him to understand, like, okay, this is what this is going to be like. Now, some other things that helped were being firm in no, you cannot watch TV. No, you cannot play or watch movies right now. And that's something I highly recommend as well. Like, during the summer, you're going to be more lax. You're going to let your kids do a little bit more playing. But if you're trying to establish a difference between your regular playtime at home and your learning time / work time, it's very important for your kids to see that you are serious and that you're not going to give in if they whine or complain or start crying. My son did it. We had our moments where we had to come to Jesus together. But it's super important to just remember that you have to be firm in your decision. You don't have to be mean. I mean, sometimes you do have to be mean, but you don't have to be mean initially. But you just have to be one of those moms where you're not being a friend and you're being a parent, and that you mean what you say and you're saying what you mean. Now, another thing that can help is establishing an area in your home that is specifically for learning and a setup that's completely different than what they're used to. So, like, if you want to set up on the couch, that's fine. I recommend getting like a little table that you can set up right in front of them and a computer. Require your child to get dressed and sit up. Don't let them lay down and do their work. If it's a laptop that they're using, don't allow them to like kind of lounge with it, lay with it, because that makes them lax and it can break concentration much easier. Another thing you can do if you don't have a desk or anything set up is you can sit them at your dining table as well. Again, that's another upright position that allows them to sit still and focus on the work. And you want to also watch your distractions. I think it's good, like if you do have a home office space, to set your child up near you, because it's kind of like mommy's working and I'm working, and it kind of puts that together. I would not recommend putting them in the area where they play unless you have some sort of chair and table set up, because if they see the stuff that they play with, it's going to distract them when they don't want to do the work anymore. So you definitely want to set up a different space. So those were the things that helped us prepare for school, and just kind of get us back realigned. Like I said, there was no structure between grief, the pandemic, things just being all over the place. He was kind of not on a schedule, and my schedule was shifted because I wasn't taking that commute anymore, so I was sleeping in. But I highly recommend you guys practicing your school schedule a week before school starts, even 2 weeks before school starts, just to help you and your kids get realigned and ready to go. If you would like to have more information about this, if you like to kind of see some examples, please let me know. Let's talk about this down in the comment section below. I do wish you and your kids a very happy and successful, peaceful school year. I know that this is a different experience for most parents, but I know that we can shine through this, and I just wish you all the best. Please subscribe to my channel, stick around for more content, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.